Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? It has been bleak and dreary for several days now. I wouldn't object to seeing a little bit of sunshine in the next couple of days. But I want to talk to everybody today a little bit about moving into the digital age. Now, obviously, we are in the digital age now, and many of us are utilizing it to its fullest potential, if not close to that. But I think all of us who are over the age of 25 still hold on to some kind of an artifact, some kind of a holdover from before the ubiquitousness of smartphones, etc. And my holdover, until recently, personal finance, I did entirely in Excel. Oh my goodness, that's so regressive. I've recently switched to Google Drive, just tracking all my personal finance on Google Drive. But that got me thinking about my vehicular maintenance. Now, how do you guys track your vehicular maintenance? I would always want to make sure I wrote down everything that I did to the vehicle so that I could know if I went to get the oil changed and they said you got to fix your brakes and I didn't do it, that the next time I went to go get the oil changed, I would look and I would say, yep, okay, last time he told me I need to get the brakes fixed, let's see what he says this time. And if anybody who tells me, hey, you got to get your brakes fixed, I would always want to double check and go to somebody else and say, you got to keep your eyes open for pedestrians who are not at the right place. This pet up here almost got hit because he wasn't in the right spot, and the guy who was driving in front of me was acting a fool. Anyway, always want to make sure that the brakes actually needed to be fixed. So I go one time, says the brakes need to be fixed, got a second opinion, says no, they're fine for a while. Next time, go, brakes need to be fixed, got a second opinion, yes, they need to be fixed, got them fixed. Went the next time, if he says they need to be fixed again, then I know that he's just trying to take me for a ride. And it is always good to have a reliable mechanic. That helps too. And so eventually I did find one, and it kind of left, didn't need those resources anymore as much, but I still maintain that habit because you never know when the mechanic is going to change ownership and their practices are going to change, and then B, then I have something that I can throw in for a major bargaining chip when I go to sell the car is, hey, look, I did all the maintenance, here it is, I even have the receipts. So I would have a piece of paper, a little notebook in the car, and each page would be the date, the place the maintenance was done, the mileage on the vehicle, the price I paid, and then I'd throw out the receipts in there also. And I did that for years until I switched to this my wife got a new car, Chevy Equinox, and frankly, I just didn't have a notebook, and I thought, well, this is silly. Why am I putting it on paper when I could just, I guess I want to hold on to the receipts, but no, I could take a picture of the receipts, and then I could just throw it on Google Drive or something. So I've tried switching to Google Drive. I just have a Word document that I write all that stuff down in, and then take a photograph of the receipts and save that in there also. Now, it's better in the long run, but it's a pain in the neck getting it all done. So, what do y'all use for this? Other thing I'm going to mention is a logbook that I have done since 1999. 1999, I started writing down just a couple of things every day. I would just write down jokes and little odd snippets of what happened during the day. Looking back, 16, 18 years later, the stuff that I was writing down is pretty much unintelligible. Like, I don't remember what any of these things are. But it started to get a little more episodic, a little more narrative. And I had a little more context in these things. And eventually it kind of turned into a log where I would actually write the story of what I was doing down. And at first it was just a Word document. And that was fine and all, but it wasn't easily searchable, and I always would I'd email myself log entries that I would need to then go and update. I have now since switched to an app called Journey, which is great, except it stores the entire thing locally on my mobile. What I like about Journey is that if you do the entry live, it'll tell you the weather and then geographic location of where the entry went in. If you upload a photograph, a geotagged photograph, it'll add the time the photograph was taken as well as the place that was taken. So I can do like one photograph entry a day or a week or however often that I find applicable. And then it has all that in there. And I like this very much because then I can just export it as a Microsoft Word document. So every month I'm exporting every entry I made that month. So if I do need to go back and delete older entries, it will be harder to search. But basically anything I did in the last 2 years, if I want to search my log, instantly I can do so from my mobile device or any computer that I'm logged into. So I recommend that a lot. So finance, journaling, logging, whatever you want to call that, auto maintenance, repairs, things like that. Trying to move to a more digital age. It's just I need it to be more convenient than what I did in the past in order for me to want to do it. So I'm looking for new things that people are doing where maybe it was cumbersome a few years ago to do it digitally, but now it makes a lot of sense to do it digitally. What are y'all doing in that regard? And one other thing I'm looking for is I got an old tablet, 10-inch tablet that I hardly use anymore. I'd love an app that I could plug the tablet in, hang it on the wall, and have it be my calendar. And then anytime it senses movement, it can turn on and display the calendar for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 30 minutes? As long as there's movement, it resets that clock. That would be really cool. So if you can think of something like that, I'd love to be able to see the calendar, maybe push a button and have the date pop up so I could see that a little better. I could just throw Google Calendar up there, but the problem is Google Calendar is designed to be something that you look at and interact with, not something that's just up on the wall. So I'd love that. That would be really cool. But any other thoughts about what you guys do? I'd love to hear them. And as always, have a nice day.